I want to do a quick tutorial of the settings pages for Top. So to get to settings, you click on your little user avatar icon here. That'll normally be your profile picture. And you just click settings, right? And you can do that from anywhere in the system. You can see here as an admin, I have 4 different options. If I'm not an admin or not a manager, then I won't have the users one, right? So I'll only be able to control my device. I can't remember, I think only managers and admins have access to the equipment one, but it might be true that members do as well. But yeah, this changes based on what your privileges are. Everyone has this profile page. So my name in the system is Jake. In fact, maybe I should give that a capital and update the profile. And so my name in the system is Jake. And then I can also add a picture here. So I click this on an iPad or a phone. It will look correct, but I'm doing a demo here, so it's only showing part of the screen. But yeah, you can upload a picture, you can take a selfie, whatever, and that becomes your profile picture. The device, so we have this ability to set a screensaver, and I covered the screensaver in a previous video, but basically this is default to 2 minutes. You can change that or you can remove it, but that pops up, and when it pops up, it deselects whoever the current team member is that's active. For equipment, this is how we connect certain devices, like for example fridges, to the checks, and this suggests it's out of order. So these drop-down menus would normally appear where they're supposed to, right here. For some reason, in this testing mode, it's showing this weird little thing. But this means it's out of order. This would be operational, and then there's also retired, right? And so these are like devices that we don't use anymore. And then these other ones are showing. Let's put this one back to out, and so that's out of order. You can also archive devices so that they don't show up in a list anywhere. And you can add a device here just by typing in a name and then clicking Add Device. So those are sort of the simple ones. Users is the more interesting page. Now, there's kind of a concept here that we've talked about before. One is that both that there's users and that there's team members. A user, which you can see here, or users, which you can see here, are like users of any other software, where there's a username, a login, and associated with that are the permissions that the person has within the software. So that you can control here. And you can add somebody just by typing in their email address, give them a password or a temporary password, their name. You can paste in a link to an image that you want them to have, at least to start. Of course, they can change that. And then you select the role and click Create User. When you do that, you'll get a line that pops up like this, right? So we've sent this person, test, an invite, and basically that's just a link that they have to click, and when they click it, it'll create an account for them. They can change their password, whatever. And if we click on this again, it'll send another email. And so once they click it and they log in, they will also appear active, right? And here, if we click this drop-down menu, again, it's this weird showing up as the strange thing here. But if we click this, we can change what their permissions are, right? So this person can become a member, and that limits their permissions, what they can do in the software. That's team members. I'm sorry, that's users. And users, so this screen can only be seen by admins. And the reason for that is because they can change permissions of anyone, including themselves, right? And so only admins can see this. But we also have team members, and managers can also see team members. Now, team members are, as we've said before, kind of the informational version of users. And so you can walk up to a device that anyone has logged into, and you can switch on the side here which team members are active, right? So these here will always line up with this information here. Now you'll notice that this is sort of configured differently. These two are configured differently than these. The reason for that is you can link a user to a team member. And so in this case, if I've linked this user, which we can see here, right? If I link this user to the team member, then it's the user's defined name that shows up and the user's defined profile picture. And so it just knows that there's a relationship between those, which means that that user can go and log into their profile and change their picture and their name and whatever. And it will automatically present that where it presents team members, like on the side here. It is also possible to add team members that are not associated with users. And you might want to do this if you get like somebody who's in the shop who does not need a user account for whatever reason, but they need to be able to use the tablet in the shop and record that they are active or that they've done something. For those people, you can just type in a display name and click add. Also, if somebody already has a user account but doesn't have a team member, you can select one of these sort of unaffiliated users, click that, and then click add member, and it will add a linked user. Of course, after the fact, you can always link the user. So in this case, test here. So this is what the person's name is set to appear if they don't have a user. So let's just call this test team member. If we link them to test, it automatically switches that to test, and it will use this person's profile picture. So you can delink or unlink, I should say, team members from users. You can later link team members and users, and you can also create team members either linked or not linked. But that's really the distinction between team members and users. Team members are informational. You can switch between them without logging out and logging in. Users, it defines permissions. One advantage of linking a user to a team member is it will automatically select, like if you log in on your phone as a certain user, it will automatically select you as the team member that's active. So you don't have to like log in and then choose yourself as a team member in order to keep working. And so that's kind of a nice reason, I would say, to link users and team members. But that is, I think, a full description of the settings page.